Hello everyone, this is Juan Bloisi with Washington Interpreters. Today, I want to share with you how L&I and the SOSi company continue to shortchange and abuse interpreters with impunity. An out-of-state interpreter contacted us to share how SOSi hasn't paid them for appointments completed months ago and some other pressing concerns, so please watch this entire video. This is Ted Mead, a recruiter from the SOSi company, reaching out to out-of-state interpreters to offer them our Washington State L&I jobs. Please remember to pause this video to read the information you see on the screen. So I made a video back in December 2024, about 6 months ago, exposing Ted and the SOSi company using LinkedIn to outsource our jobs. Please feel free to check it out after watching this video. However, about a week ago, I received an email from Heidi, an out-of-state interpreter covering over-the-phone or OPI jobs with SOSi. Heidi decided to email L&I representatives, as you see here, because of unpaid jobs from months ago. So let's get into it. And Heidi starts by saying, "My name is Heidi. I am a contract OPI interpreter with SOSi, providing OPI interpretation services for L&I. I was contacted by a SOSi recruiter in December 2024, signed my contract with SOSi in January 2025, and started taking calls in February 2025. I am reaching out to you regarding some concerns I have with the company's practices. Get a load of this. Request for a Washington State business license. As part of the onboarding process, I was told that I needed to obtain a Washington State business license. I wasn't sure why, since I don't reside in Washington State, and I made this clear to them. I checked with the DOR, the Department of Revenue, of course, and they also confirmed that it was not necessary. I provided SOSi proof of my application, but I have not paid the $50 fee for the license and was still cleared with the onboarding process and given access to start receiving appointments. Wow. Accepting assignments by appointment. I was given access to the WordBridge platform to review and accept assignments. I tried to accept appointments with WordBridge, but the appointments were very hard to come by because I would get notifications and the request would disappear within seconds. Are you familiar with this? Eventually, I was able to accept a few appointments and was given instructions that OPI calls were completed through Zoom using the built-in function on the WordBridge calendar. However, on several occasions, when I clicked on the Zoom icon, I was not directed to Zoom because it did not provide a link to join a meeting. I called the help desk for assistance, and all they could provide was an offer to put in a ticket. Of course, the assignment for these OPI calls were completed by the clients dialing directly to my personal phone number, which several clients told me was standard protocol for them. I addressed this with the SOSi company and I was told to complete a verification of service form. After several attempts and not feeling comfortable with the accuracy of compensation with these appointments, I decided to stop accepting appointments or accepting them and try the on-demand calls instead. Let's continue. Discrepancies with on-demand call records. When completing on-demand calls, I was told that the call history would be recorded in WordBridge. I noticed several discrepancies between the call history recorded in WordBridge and the CX1 website. I reached out to SOSi multiple times about the inaccuracy of the call history, and multiple times I received an email saying my ticket was closed with a quote-unquote resolution, when in fact the problem persists. Most recently, I received a reply saying that they are aware of an issue with some CX1 on-demand calls not importing into WordBridge, but I should rest assured that they have complete call data from CX1. On Monday, May 12, 2025, I reached out to SOSi one more time, providing a list of over 20 calls. Listen to these, over 20 calls I completed with or in CX1 that have not been recorded in WordBridge. This equates to over 650 minutes of call time not recorded. So that's at 70 cents a minute, by the way, which amounts to almost $500. I received a rather unfriendly reply reminding me that, quote, per the onboarding email, end quote, all questions or concerns need to be directed to the support email. Late payments. Let's continue. In addition to inaccuracy in call records, I have yet to be paid for calls that were completed over 60 days ago. Remember that L&I has 60 days to pay a bill? Well, there you go. I reached out to SOSi regarding these late payments, and they replied, indicating that if I have not been paid, it is because SOSi has not received payment from the insurance companies, and after several attempts to collect without resolution, SOSi will follow L&I's dispute process. Aren't you tired of this? And the email is going to end right here with no resolutions. After several attempts to reach out to SOSi, I still have no resolution, and for this reason, I will no longer be accepting phone calls for them until I am compensated accurately and fairly. Of course, I support you, Heidi. Don't do this anymore. But Heidi closes the email here saying, attached to this email is an example of the discrepancy between the call history in CX1 and WordBridge. There appears to be a 1 hour time difference between CX1 and WordBridge, which makes it very difficult to compare reports. Your attention to this matter is greatly appreciated, Heidi. And Heidi, kudos to you. Heidi is a CCHI nationally certified interpreter. But unfortunately, all of this has been in vain so far because Heidi reached out to us again yesterday on May 21st, letting us know that she hasn't heard back from L&I. See, this is L&I showing how little respect and consideration they have for the interpreters, if any. Heidi also added that she was able to identify the recruiter from SOSi who reached out to her to offer our Washington State L&I jobs. And of course, you guessed it, it was Ted, the guy I talked about in one of my videos. I want to thank Heidi for sharing her situation with us so that we can raise awareness of these issues. In closing, I want you to meditate on the following. Despite the WFC Union recently doing victory laps because L&I will give us a meager 3% raise, they still have 60 days to pay a single bill by law, and the SOSi company still has 15 days to pay us before we see any money. That's 2.5 months of built-in delays by law from L&I, and the WFC Union refused to change that by sponsoring a new law. They also tried to sabotage our Washington Interpreters bill, which was aimed at correcting the payment delays and so many other things. Worst of all, L&I is still waiting to get payment from insurance companies before they pay interpreters for many jobs. That's what they say, right? You see, you won't get paid for your services if a claim isn't open. If L&I decides they shouldn't have approved a particular claim and you interpret for that patient, well, you owe that money to them. Yes, they could recoup that money. And they'll take it away from your paycheck without any remorse. And there's nothing you can do about it. You see, here's the problem. We're not doctors, and we don't make decisions on L&I claims. We provide interpreting services, right? Duh. We should be paid immediately for the services we provide. This isn't hard to understand, right? But the WFC Union prefers to save the state money before getting interpreters paid on time. What a shame. But many interpreters have left the industry altogether because of this, and that's why there is a massive shortage of interpreters in the L&I system. An L&I solution? Well, they're outsourcing our jobs to other states and out of the country in many cases, but they still don't want to pay those interpreters, as you have seen in this video. And while all of this is happening, several WOFC leaders are running appointment monopolies and stealing jobs from other interpreters with impunity, okay, aided by the SOSi company and several clinics in some cases. Oh, come on, you all know this is happening and who's doing it, right? The L&I system has been in this state for more than a year and a half since the WOFC unit began representing interpreters. So who are they really serving and representing? Interpreters or L&I? Let me ask you another question. What good is it to be allowed to work more than 8 hours a day when only the same people monopolizing the industry will have access to those jobs and L&I can still legally delay your payment for months? Well, God willing, we're having an election soon to replace the WOFC union, and we'll have one last chance to get rid of them. But remember, whatever happens will be up to you. It's always been up to you, by the way. I'll let you know when we have more election news. In the meantime, you have the right to opt out of WOFC and stop paying union dues. We must get rid of these horrible unions. So go to optouttoday.com/WOFC1671 to do so and keep your hard-earned money. See you in the next one.